who are new. Okay, so it's actually very, amazing to be part of UPSC Lounge and teaching you all CSAT. And today we are going to discuss some good tips, good strategies of, being able to solve the passages. Fine. Before I begin with what I have to say, I would just like to know quickly how many students belong to Hindi medium. Okay, you can again directly message me. And if you have any language barrier, you are free to ask me. I can be bilingual also. So please don't be hesitant because I understand language is a challenge. So we need to be quite honest about it. So you can directly message me. I'll take care of that aspect also. Otherwise, I'll be bilingual and I will be speaking both languages so that there is feasibility to all. Now, as we know, as we have been talking about CSAT general strategies, we all have understood the pattern, and I am assuming that you all are well aware of the pattern. So we all know that out of 80, approximately 30 questions are from English comprehension. Am I right? If yes, give me a thumbs up quickly. Am I right? Okay, one in advance thing, I want my students to be very interactive, very vocal. You give me a thumbs up or you write in the chat box, because any class in which only one person is speaking is very boring, right? And nobody wants to attend a boring class. Nobody can learn from a boring class. So just leave all your inhibitions. कुछ भी problem है, कुछ भी hesitations है, सब छोड़ो and just be very active, okay? Because one thing is, if you speak a lot, if you ask a lot, if you think a lot, right, you will learn definitely. And second important thing, as I tell my students every time, please have a notebook in front of you and keep making notes, right? You okay, so let's begin. So as we know, we have 30 questions approximately. Okay, and one second, there's some pop-up coming up. Yeah. So 30 questions are from English comprehension. So our strategy is to actually solve them. Now, one misconception students have is they feel they can actually leave these questions and do all the remaining parts. But I think that's not a good approach to go ahead because you're not very sure. You're not very sure whether you will be able to score in that. So many students take English comprehension, in a very light manner. And I think this is the most blunder, a blunder which they are doing, most severe mistake which they are doing, right? So this should not be the attitude that we can leave or skip. And one more misconception is that students who belong to English medium, they think that English is something we have been studying for quite a long time. हम बहुत time से English पढ़ रहे हैं, हम passages पढ़ रहे हैं, हमने class 12th में पढ़ा या हमने class 10th में पढ़ा या हमने practice अलग तरीके से कर लिया. So we will be able to do it without practicing. But no, in UPSC, we have to understand the strategies. So it is not compulsory that if you're very good in English, if you are, well aware of the language, you will be able to crack the passages. So practicing comprehension passages per se is very important. And I sometimes suggest my students to also practice CAT passages. Why? Because जब इतने difficult कर लोगे तो CSAT easy लगने लग जाता, right? So that was actually the first step. So I am expecting you people are reading papers regularly. Yes, you can give me a thumbs up. Can I get the names of the papers which you're reading quickly? Editorials from which papers, which sections are you reading? Quickly. You can DM me the names of the papers which you're reading. How many of you analyze the papers? How many of you analyze the sections? And how do you analyze? I hope you are analyzing. So please write down or note down strategy number 2. Yes, there are so many names coming up. The Hindu, Times of India, okay. So when you are reading the sections or the editorials, make sure you're highlighting the difficult words and finding it out from the dictionary. How many of you are doing that? How many of you do that? And I suggest you all to download a dictionary in your mobile so that you are able to easily access that. Because, smartphone having, I think, everyone has a smartphone in these days. So when you're able to access the meanings, it gives a very convenient. It's very convenient way of learning the meanings of the words. But yes, not obviously you can't do for all the words, right? Okay. So when we are talking about the passages, when we are talking about the newspapers, we need to understand one thing. We need to understand what is the writing style of the writer or the author. Because when we are attempting the UPSC passages or the CSAT passages, we never know what is the intention of the one who is making the paper, who has designed the paper. 90% of the times, the options which you are going to get will be based on some prejudices which we are very well aware of, which we will automatically think that this is not possible in a society. How can I say yes for it? But then one most important thing we need to keep in mind is that we have to answer based on the passage, right? We don't have to assume, we don't have to bring our own general knowledge, we don't have to bring what we already know, because that becomes a barrier, right? I hope you're getting that. You can give me a thumbs up again if you're able to understand this point, that we have to just focus on the text. That's it. No, nothing which we already know should be a barrier. It shouldn't be, right? And okay. So the next thing which I want you all to understand and again make a note of is we must understand there is a structure of a passage, right? Now, after we discuss a few tips and strategies, we are going to solve the passages right now. And we are going to discuss how that structure is found in the passage. So every passage has a structure. Can anyone tell me quickly what is that structure which I'm talking of? This is something you should be aware of because you must have practiced something or the other. What is the structure in the passage? Anyone would like to speak or would like to write the answer in the chat box quickly? What do you mean by structure? Do you understand what is a structure? You can either say no also, perfectly fine. Yes, quickly students. I can read out a few names. Mansi, Lydia, Palak, Bhumika, Chaya, Daisy, Dipesh, Naveen, Aishwarya. I quickly want to know the structure. Okay. Fine. Okay. One says summary. No, I'm sorry, that's wrong. And different paragraphs. Okay. Okay. Some do not know. Perfectly fine. What is a structure? Yes, I have got an answer which is very close to correct. Then information. Okay, one person is writing general introduction, then some information, then conclusion. I can take it. One is writing intro, body, and conclusion. Okay, I can take this also. Now, basically, it is the beginning, it is the middle, and then the ending. Simple. No difficult language, right? This is the structure. What is the beginning? The beginning generally tells us the main idea of the passage. What will be the passage? Passage किस चीज के बारे में होना चाहिए, right? 90%, the main idea is in the first line or the first passage. We have to understand that. 90%. But again, 10%, UPSC can shake anyone, anytime, any paper. So that 10% scoop will always be there, but 90%, हाँ. The middle part is the elaboration what we have read. उसमें हमें कभी contradictions मिल सकते हैं, कभी therefore लगा देंगे तो additions आ जाएंगे, कभी however लगा देंगे तो contrast आ जाएगा. We are going to discuss how to spot these traps. इनको हम traps बोलते हैं. You're going on road, you are riding smoothly and then there's a jerk, there's a speed breaker, there's a trap for you. So these words are like traps, okay? Then we have the last paragraph, which is generally the conclusion, or it is summarizing the main idea. Okay, it is carrying forward, or it is kind of concluding that okay, ये सारा जो है इस पूरी की पूरी बात का summary हो सकता है, or conclusion हो सकता है, right? So every writer is having a structure. Now, my first question was, how many of you reading? You said, ma'am, Indian Express, Times of India, editorials, but how many of you read sports section? Think about it. How many of you read scientific news? How many of you read news which are related to politics? Why am I saying all this? because you never know which kind of passage is given to you, which kind of vocabulary you are required to know. So the more diverse your areas of reading are, जितना आप ज्यादा diverse reading करोगे, उतने diverse vocabulary your mind is going to pick up. Do you agree? Thumbs up, thumbs down. You can give me quickly. I want my students to be interactive. Yes. Okay. I have got Hina. Okay, Hina. Priya, Athar, what do you have to think? What's your take on it? Okay. So suppose you are only focusing on, say, sports, but science का passage आ गया, ecology के words हैं, anthropomorphism कोई भारी सा word आ गया, कोई evolution आ गया और मतलब ही नहीं पता, then what are you going to do? Okay. So one, diverse, but at the same time, time limitation is a problem. But this time, lucky enough, it has been postponed. Some are preparing, I think, for the next year. So you have good amount of time. I think you should be able to read diverse text. But now there is a problem. अगर नहीं मैम टाइम नहीं है तो क्या करें? तो क्या करना है, पेपर के अंदर वो पैसेजेस पहले चूज करने हैं जो आते हैं. कैसे आते हैं? जो फेमिलियर है. स्पोर्ट्स पढ़ा हुआ है, स्पोर्ट्स पैसेज पहले उठाओ. Trust me, your mind is going to access it in a better way. You are going to feel a little comfortable that, okay, this is something which I have been reading. You will be knowing what is the meaning of match fixing. You will be knowing what is the meaning of, say, typical cricket vocabulary. Or if you are into some other genre or field of knowledge, then go for that. So, अगर हम बात करते हैं ना easy or difficult, ये बहुत subjective word है. Something which is easy for Hina might be very difficult for Priya, whereas something which is easy for Priya might be difficult for Hina, क्योंकि हो सकता है उनके interest अलग हो. Okay, because it's all about luck also, that which genre or which field you have been reading और आपको कौन सा passage आ रहा है. अगर उसी genre का आ गया, वो passage में से आपको 10 vocab आती हैं, you will be able to crack it because you will be able to make meaning out of it. But अब प्रॉब्लम है, ना हमें vocab आती है, ना हमने वो टेक्स्ट पढ़ा हुआ है, ना हमने उस genre के passages पढ़े हैं. Now what to do? This is what we are going to learn, the tips and the strategies, that even if we do not know the vocabulary per se, how we should be able to understand it through context. That is why I always insist, read the questions first. Instead of sitting and reading the whole passage slowly, read the questions first and quickly mark the keywords. So that becomes your strategy. I hope you're noting down these points, right? I'm just reminding. Because when we make notes, we always, help our brain to memorize those things, right? So always make it a point that you are marking the keywords in the question. First, as I told you, we can understand the structure of the passage or the paragraph. You have a beginning, you have a middle, you have an ending. Beginning, 90% of the times, it is the main idea of the passage. पूरा passage किस चीज के बारे में है, हमें first paragraph में मिल जाता है. Then highlight the keywords in the questions. Because when you go to the passage, you will be able to search for those keywords and you will be able to get the answers very quickly. We don't have so much time to, sit and read the passages. We can't afford to lose time like that. Okay. There will be times you might not understand few words. It's okay. Don't stop. Still, you can come to the right answer if you know the correct strategy. Why? Because you would have trained, हमने अपनी eyes को, अपने दिमाग को उस तरीके से train करना है कि keyword ढूंढा, वही हमने passage में locate किया और वहां पर हमने वो answer find out कर लिया. And it's not the questions which you are reading, also all the 4 options you are going to read, right? So there are so many methods. जब हम बात करते हैं, let's take one example. There are 4 options which are given. Now there will be a question in which one option directly will be there. When we are going to solve a passage, we'll see such examples. But sometimes we can adopt a strategy which we can say, first option nahi hai, we cancel it out. Second option is also not there. Third is also not there. Which is the remaining one? 4. This is an elimination method. So जरूरी नहीं कि आपको हमेशा आपका आंसर सामने दिख जाए. कभी-कभी you have to use your mind and you have to eliminate, So this is how you have to train your mind, because it is only through training and practicing that you can achieve one set level of understanding and you can feel confident while solving the passages. Now the another very important thing, which again is a trap, look for synonyms in the passage. Please note it down. Always look for synonyms. Now there will be words generally which are used, words with multiple meanings. I'll take a class on this separately, probably next week. Words which have multiple meanings. Now, for example, if I say, I can say widely. Now, widely is used in the passage, for example. What is the meaning of widely? Can anyone tell me? Ma'am, what is widely? Quickly. Anyone? Yes, I'm waiting for your DMs. Quick, quick, quick. What is widely? Think about it. Just give me a vague guess. Okay. One is saying broad. Okay. The other is saying large part. Okay. And now my sentence is, agriculture is widely spread in those grasslands or in those states, so and so states. What is the meaning of this? It is widely spread. Or if I'm saying in a large area, very good, Pallav, very good, Daisy, very good, Hina. Okay. So you're saying in a large, it is widely spread here, it means largely. Very good. And if I'm saying it is a widely accepted fact that so and so people belong to such state are this way. Again, a prejudice. It is a widely accepted fact. What do you mean? What do you understand by this widely? Widely accepted fact? Popularly, very good. Everyone has accepted it, very good. So the first one was pertaining to area. The second one is related to the ideology or something, a proposition majority of people are believing to be true. So similarly, we might have such words which related with people with acceptance, good enough, good. So same word might be given in the passage and it has multiple meanings. Okay. Now wide, third is also space. It can also be given. Wide means something which is very broad. So it is broad, literally also, as we are, if I say the table in front of me is very wide, बहुत बड़ी है, चौड़ी है, typical हिंदी में बात करते हैं. But अगर हम बात करेंगे कि it is widely accepted, means it's a phenomena, it's a notion which is widely, universally accepted, popularly known as, right? So wide will be in literal sense also, and it in symbolical sense also. So we have to understand such synonyms, because these are again favorite traps of the writers or the people who are designing these, the examiners, I can say, the ones who are designing the question paper. Okay, now latter or later, for example, latter, Latter, or later. Now Hindi medium students can face a difficulty because again exposure of language का एक limitation आ सकता है. तो latter और later में सिर्फ एक T का difference है और पूरा मतलब change हो जाता है. Later means something which is done later. It is a symbolical of time. बाद में करना. It's a degree of late. Late, later, latest. Whereas latter will be, there are two things. So the second thing is latter. तो ये जो words हैं, vocabulary है, इनको समझना, इनको practice करना students बहुत important है. And we assume that you are aware or you should be practicing this on a regular basis. And this is how we are going to discuss and train you also. Right? And we never know the exact intention. Why? Because a lot of subjectivity is also involved. Fine. Now, as I say, always focus on the passage. Don't go by what is understood. Suppose, let's take one very interesting example. I say, in the passage it is given, for example, we need carbon monoxide to survive. Human beings need carbon monoxide to survive. Okay. This is in the passage. But otherwise, what do we need to survive? Tell me. Which gaseous form do we inhale to survive? हमें जीने के लिए क्या चाहिए? Which gaseous form? Don't give me multiple examples of ये चाहिए, वो चाहिए. Okay, oxygen. Perfect. We know that. Now, very basic and simple example I'm giving. We know we need oxygen to survive, right? I'm reading a passage, say on respiration है, oxygen है, carbon monoxide और दो चार और gases लिखी हैं, और मुझे पता है कि ऑक्सीजन ही चाहिए ह्यूमन बींग्स को सर्वाइव करने के लिए. एक assumption और एक या एक सेंट्रल आइडिया या सेंट्रल थीम का कोई क्वेश्चन आ जाता है जिसके अंदर पूछा जाता है ह्यूमन बींग्स नीड ऑक्सीजन टू सर्वाइव. My instincts will tell me to mark that answer because I know oxygen is required. But what do I have to do? कभी फर्स्ट पेज अगर ध्यान से हम पढ़ते हैं तो लिखा होता है आंसर ऑल क्वेश्चंस एज पर द पैसेज ओनली. और जितने भी कॉम्प्रिहेंशन क्वेश्चंस हैं उसके पीछे उसके ऊपर 3 लाइंस होती हैं, या तो वो जो लाइंस होती हैं वो एक्चुअली क्वेश्चन होती है दैट यू हैव टू डू दैट, राइट. So this is how we have to focus only on the passage that we need oxygen to survive. Whatever gas is written, I go by it. If it says carbon monoxide, yes, I need carbon monoxide only. So whatever you know earlier, preconceived notions, that should not become your barrier. Okay, that is again a very important strategy. One thing I would like to tell you, avoid the passages which are very long but with very few questions. Because again, that's a tip and a strategy of saving time. Why do you need to waste a time in a passage which is so long but with only 2-3 questions? Okay, so that should be again one thing to be kept in mind. But there are cases जब passage बहुत लंबे थे but questions बहुत simple थे. So again, वो simple subjective हो जाता है whether it is simple for you or not. In that cases, you can obviously go for those. So you know, a lot of things go into your presence of mind, how much you've practiced. All these are very, very important. Okay. And one more thing which I always tell, keep marking the answers in the OMR sheet also, so that there is no scope of errors, one. And you also understand, you also know how many questions you have attempted. Okay. Because if you don't mark side by side in haste and hurry, later on you may end up marking the wrong ones. Okay, now the last, and then we are going to jump. I'll be sharing my screen and we are going to start with the passages. One very important thing I want you all to understand is knowledge of connectors. Now, as I told, the first line generally tells us the topic of the paragraph. Okay, now you have to look at the second line, you know, second or third line maybe. If it starts with however, but, these are called contrast words. It means the now it is a trap. You have to just pay full attention because the author is intending to point you towards something else. Whatever the author has said till now is negated, to cancel हो गया. जो बोला अगर however but आ गया तो मतलब something else is in store for you. So you have to be very vigilant of these words. The first statement might not be true. One, कोई twist है. Second option, in that case, the answer will be either at the end of paragraph or beginning of the second paragraph. Because however आ गया तो contrast आ गया. लेकिन if there are words such as furthermore, moreover, in addition to, also, it means these words means they are carrying forward the idea. Furthermore means आगे और भी बात है. Moreover, something else also, you know, is required. So all these are telling that, okay, whatever was told, it's true, it's fine, and something more is being added to it. Okay, so before coming to the passages which we are going to discuss right now, I just want to announce about tomorrow's class. Tomorrow we are going to do all these connectors because I thought these are the basic and major traps which are there in UPSC CSAT paper. All these conjunctive adverbs, ग्रामर में नहीं जाते, बट जितने भी ये वर्ड्स होते हैं, accordingly, consequently, hence, therefore, furthermore, in addition, moreover, meanwhile, you know, इन सब का एक purpose है. So tomorrow I'm going to discuss all these words. What do they mean? What is their purpose? What are the different examples? And how to understand and use them. And then we are going to discuss the passages. Because अगर ये traps clear हो गए, तो 80% प्रॉब्लम तो वैसे ही सॉल्व हो जाएगा कि अच्छा हमें पता होगा कि इन ये जो वर्ड्स बीच में आ जाते हैं इनका बेसिकली पर्पस क्या होता है, राइट. सो yes, now I'm going to present the screen. Just a second. Share screen. Okay. Are you able to see the screen? Please give me a thumbs up or let me know. Okay. Yes. No. But I am sharing the screen. I am sharing the screen. Yes. Okay, Daisy. Good. Fine. Everyone is able to see. Now, let's discuss this passage. And now I just want everyone to be very vocal and participate in this. Whatever tips and strategies we have discussed, let's employ them. Let's use them. Okay, students. So this is CSAT 2014. I just picked it up, right? And this is, let's take this passage, the Himalayan ecosystem. Okay. So I just want you all to, okay, what is the first thing we have understood? That if in passage or questions, what do we need to read first? What do we need to read first? Quickly tell me. Increase the font. Okay, I'll just try my best. Yes, I think it's better now. But in that case, if I increase the font, I think this is fine. Is this fine now? Is the font size fine? Please let me know. Okay, fine. Okay, so we have questions. Very good. Priya, Chaya, very good. So perfect. Let's go with the questions now. Let's go with the questions. Okay. So if I come to the question here, consider the following statements according to the passage. How do I take this away? Okay, fine. According to the passage, the adverse impact of climate change on an ecosystem can be. So now what do I have to search here? I have to, what are my keywords? What are my keywords? Give me the keywords. Let's discuss. What are the keywords in question number 26 we are doing right now? Tell me the keywords. First of all, we have two statements with us. So we are looking for climate change. Okay, only climate change. What about climate change? Yes, Priya? Impact. Okay, good, Chaya. We are talking about impact of climate change. Fine. Which word is given before impact? Is it a positive impact or a negative impact? Is it a positive one? What does adverse mean? Negative? Very good. It is a negative impact. Okay. So this is one keyword we have highlighted. Now let's read this. What is the first option? Permanent disappearance of some of its flora and fauna. Okay. So we have understood that, okay, we are talking about adverse impact of climate change on an ecosystem. I assume you all understand what is ecosystem, right? You all understand what is ecosystem? Ecosystem, a system where living beings survive, they grow, it contains water, soil, air, and everything. So that we call as ecosystem in simple language. So what is the impact of climate change on ecosystem? And adverse impact. Permanent disappearance of some of its flora and fauna. Some. It is called savior. ये savior, ये words हमें save करते हैं. जब हम words आते हैं, some, please write it. Again, this is one tip and strategy which we are practicing and understanding side by side. Some, more, many. These words are saviors. ये हमें बचाते हैं. लेकिन अगर words आ गए never, not at all, या all, ये extreme words होते हैं. 90% ये वाले answers गलत होते हैं. 90%. I always say 90% because in CSAT वो 10% का जो chance होता है ना end moment पर वो बहुत vary करता है. Why? Because questions and answers are very subjective. So presence of mind and practice is very important, as I say. But जहां पर some आ गया, जहां पर more आ गया, या जो central words हैं, जो ना extreme नहीं है, they are savior. वो answers सही होने चाहिए. Let's find out what happens over here. Permanent disappearance of ecosystem itself. Permanent disappearance of ecosystem. कि पूरा ecosystem ही खत्म, गायब हो गया, disappear हो गया. Again an extreme option. So since we are practicing, we are not reading all the questions abhi, we are practicing one by one. तो इसी को ढूंढते हैं चलो. Impact of adverse impact of climate change on ecosystem. Can we just quickly scan the passage? Where can we find this? Do we find this over here? If you're able to find it, let me know which line. Otherwise, I will just scroll down. Where is it? Quickly. You have to scan. The Himalayan ecosystem is highly vulnerable, both due to geological reasons and on account of the stress which is caused by increased pressure of population. Okay. These aspects, okay, I have already got line number 6 from Chaya. Very good. These aspects may be exacerbated. Now, अगर मान लेते हैं हमें exacerbated का मतलब नहीं पता, मुश्किल सा लग रहा है, it's okay. लेकिन हम बात करें stress की, caused by increased pressure of population, all these are the side effects which are happening. These aspects may be exacerbated. तो एक contextual meaning जो निकल कर आता है कि these aspects are worsened और खराब हो रहा है, बढ़ रहा है due to the impact of climate change. It is possible that climate change may adversely impact. मिल गया हमें climate change, okay, adverse भी मिल गया, impact भी मिल गया, तो इसका मतलब हमें 26 थोड़ा थोड़ा मिल गया. Let's find out. The Himalayan ecosystem through increased temperature, altered precipitation, patterns, episodes of drought and biotic influences. ये वाले words समझ नहीं आ रहे, कोई बात नहीं, आगे चलते हैं. This would not only impact the very sustenance of the indigenous communities in uplands, but also the life of downstream dwellers across the country and beyond. Therefore, urgent need, और हम यहाँ पर आते हैं कि चलो efforts चाहिए. अब यहाँ पर adversely effect की बात हुई है, तो यहाँ पर क्या क्या बोला है? Drought problem है, biotic influences problem है, altered precipitation. Precipitation means water coming to earth in any form. बारिश होना, snowfall होना, हेल स्टॉर्म होना, सब प्रेसिपिटेशन की फैमिलीज हैं, तो वो ऑल्टर हो जाता है पैटर्न. ये सारी प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं. क्या यहाँ पर कहीं ये दिखता है कि परमानेंट इकोसिस्टम डिस्ट्रॉय हो गया है? डू वी फाइंड दैट? डू वी फाइंड परमानेंट डिसअपीयरेंस ऑफ सम ऑफ इट्स फ्लोरा एंड फौना? व्हाट डू वी फाइंड आउट ऑफ इट? एनीथिंग? ओके. What is biotic influences? What is biotic? Any idea? What is biotic? Biotic is related to animals and yes, it's living animals and plants, flora and fauna only. That's biotic. Okay. So if you know this one meaning, yes, very good. We have Mansi and Hina who are telling this. Very good. So if you know the meaning of one word, you know the answer. This is importance of having the vocab, right? तो यहाँ पर जो हमें एक मतलब है, एक meaning, biotic influences, that this affects biotic, it influences. तो इसका मतलब some of its flora fauna gets disturbed. That is correct. But any idea, any evidence or any statement telling that permanent disappearance of ecosystem, no. So it means only answer 1 is correct. And which is that answer? A. So this is the correct answer. Why? Because of this one little word, biotic. Okay. Clear? So this is how reading different genres and varieties of text helps us to understand that. और अगर ना भी हो तो biotic का मतलब bio से related, something which is again you can relate it to living organisms. Fine. Okay, now let's come on to the second question. Which of the following statements best implies the need to shift towards contemporary conservation approach? Now, which of the following statements, again we have 4 statements, best implies the need? What do we have to find out? The need. Can anyone tell me what do we mean by need? Is it a cause? It is a concern? किसमें डालेंगे हम? मैं आपको options देती हूँ. Is it a cause? Is it a concern? Is it a reason? Is it something which you look for? Is it your goal or objective? Is it something which you require? I've given you multiple words very similar to this. Which do you think fits with need or matches with need? Okay, concern, one is saying. The other is saying require. Hina says require. Priya says require. Chai says concern. Others, quickly. Where are the others? Everyone, only 7-8 students are not the ones who are speaking in the class. Quickly, students. Yes. Okay, requirement, Yashasvi, very good. Daisy also says goal and objective. Objective. So I think Ani and Pallab, you are absolutely correct. Here it falls into objective. What is the objective? Now the question is, which of the following statements best implies the need to shift towards contemporary conservation approach? मतलब ऐसा क्या हुआ कि हमें शिफ्ट करना पड़ा कंटेम्प्रेरी कंजर्वेशन अप्रोच. कंटेम्प्रेरी मींस जो आजकल हो रही है प्रेजेंटली. कंजर्वेशन अप्रोच में क्यों जाना पड़ा, ऐसी क्या जरूरत थी? तो those were saying requirement correct, but actually you are looking for what was the objective behind it, right? You're not looking for क्यों किया, you're not looking for reason. Let's find out now. Let's read the statements. Let's read the statements. Let's read this one. Okay. Exploitation of natural resources causes a stress on the Himalayan ecosystem. Okay. Climate change alters precipitation patterns, causes episodes of drought and biotic interference. Okay. The rich biodiversity, including endemic diversity, makes the Himalayan region a biodiversity hotspot. The Himalayan biogeographic region should be enabled to adapt to climate change smoothly. Okay, we have read all the 4 options. We have read the passage till here also. यहाँ तक तो हम पढ़ ही चुके थे. एक बार यहाँ पे आते हैं. Further, it needs to be emphasized that the endemics with restricted distribution and most often with specialized habitat requirements are among the most vulnerable elements. तो हम क्या अभी जब पैसेज समझ रहे थे तो हम क्या बात कर रहे थे कि क्लाइमेट चेंज का बहुत इम्पैक्ट आ रहा है और फर्दर का मतलब एडिंग टू इट और खराब चीजें क्या क्या हो रही हैं और क्या मतलब क्या प्रॉब्लम्स आ रही हैं आगे. That endemics with restricted distribution, most often with specialized habitat requirements, are vulnerable elements. Himalayan biodiversity hotspot with rich endemic diversity is vulnerable to climate change. और problems बताए जा रहे हैं हमें. So basically, second passage is about elaborating on the problems. If the problems are started in the first part, okay. The threats include possible loss of genetic resources and species. So threats means something which is dangerous. Okay, therefore, conservation of endemic elements in representative assumes a great significance while drawing conservation plans for the region. Okay, so abhi tak hame endemic diversity mila. Where was the endemic diversity? We had endemic elements here. Okay, but this is again not matching to what we are looking for, rich biodiversity. Let's go on to the third part. Please have a look at these, students. Towards achieving the above, we will have to shift towards contemporary conservation approaches. तो हम यहाँ पर आते हैं क्योंकि this is the keyword which is given to us. We are taking time right now, but obviously when you are going to scan the passage, you are quickly going to glance and bring your eyes and यहाँ पर रुक जाओगे कि अच्छा ये रही contemporary conservation approach. Why? Because हमारे question में यही पूछा है, contemporary conservation approach. Let's read this now. Which includes a paradigm of landscape level interconnectivity between protected area system. The concept advocates a shift from the species habitat focus to an inclusive focus. Species habitat focus से हटकर inclusive focus on expanding the biogeographic range. इतना ही समझ लेते हैं. Can you think and tell me which option should be correct in 27? Yes, students? Okay, I've got an answer D. I've got an answer C also. Waiting quickly. All of you just give it a shot. You want me to scroll it above? Have a read. Read it again. Towards achieving the above, we will have to shift towards contemporary conservation approaches, paradigm of landscape level interconnectivity. The concept advocates a shift from species habitat focus to an inclusive focus so that the natural adjustments to climate change can proceed without being restrictive. Hmm? You are absolutely correct. Chaya, Priya, Mansi, the answer is D. Correct. The Himalayan biogeographic region should be enabled to adapt to climate change smoothly. Okay. Why? Because this is how we understand that this is the motive, this is the purpose, this was the need, that usko hum climate change adapt karwa sake, so that everything is smooth. That was the main requirement. Now suppose this is not need, and here it says what is the reason. What is the reason? Then which option do you think fits as the answer, A, B or C? Suppose I change this और ये question इसकी जगह होता कि what is the reason? What was the reason to shift towards contemporary conservation approach? Can you tell me A, B, C में से कौन सा आंसर होता? Exploitation of natural resources, climate change alters precipitation, and the rich biodiversity, including endemic diversity, makes the Himalayan region a biodiversity hotspot. Okay. B, B, C. Okay. Anyone else? What about you? I think I should be taking names now if you don't speak. Come on, you have to be vocal. Dipesh, Jennifer, can I get an answer from you? Aishwarya, Athar, Yashasvi. Okay, so we have multiple answers. Interesting. Yashasvi is the one who has given actually the correct answer. All three, A, B, and C, they all are reasons. Only D is the objective, which tells us कि यही need थी. So there is only one correct answer in this case. But अगर reason होता तो ये तीनों correct होते. Okay. So let's continue. Let's continue and let's go to this another question, and I'll come back to the passage. हो सकता है आप अभी समझ ही गए हो. What is the most important message? Now, when we find out message, please write it down. Message is not fact. Message is not a fact. अगर कोई message आता है तो जरूरी नहीं वो fact हो. Okay. Message is something which is derived from the passage. What is the most important message conveyed by the passage? Endemism is a characteristic feature of Himalayan region. Now, endemism क्या होता है? Endemic qualities are the qualities in a person or features which are, characteristic of people or animals of that particular place. For example, people of a particular region have particular kind of facial features. Some have very sharp jaw lines, some have big eyes, some have small eyes, some have curly hair, some have, I hope you've understood what's endemic. So endemism is a characteristic feature of Himalayan region. क्या ये message है कि हिमालयन रीजन में लोग इस तरीके के होते हैं या इस तरीके के एनिमल्स या फ्लोरा फौना होता है? Is this the message? Conservation efforts should emphasize on biographic ranges rather than on some species or habitats. Is this a message? Think about it. Climate change has adverse impact on the Himalayan ecosystem. Climate change का adverse impact हो गया. क्या ये message हो सकता है? ये तो result है, ये तो consequence है. Do you understand? This is a consequence. Climate change has adverse impact. ये तो consequence है. Endemism is a characteristic feature. This is a fact. ये भी message नहीं हो सकता. क्या options बची? B और D. This is how you understand. अब ये मुझे कैसे, आपको कैसे पता चला consequence है? Because you have read it, you have understood it, and you know consequences ऐसे होते हैं. This comes with practice. Without Himalayan ecosystem, the life of the communities of uplands and downstreams will have no sustenance. ये भी consequence. No, this is also a fact. कि अगर Himalayan ecosystem नहीं होगा, तो जो लोग ऊपर और नीचे रह रहे हैं, वो जी नहीं पाएंगे. There will be no sustenance. दो facts, एक consequence. Okay, Chaya, very good. She has already given B is the correct answer. Conservation efforts should emphasize on biographic ranges rather than on some species or habitats. That whatever we are conserving, that should encompass everything. And this was also given in the passage. because when you're having the hard copy, obviously you're able to look at it. Look here. A shift from species habitat focus to inclusive focus. What is inclusive? Including all. What is species habitat focus? कि कुछ species पे focus ना करके सबको साथ लेके चलना है. And this is what this option is telling us. This is the message. Okay. So what is this? Conservation should emphasize on biographic ranges rather than on some species. Not on some, but on whole biographic range. Is this clear, students? Give me a thumbs up. If you have any doubt, please be vocal about it. Is this clear? I just want to know, or you can DM me. I can look in the other device. Clear? Okay. Okay. Good. Fine. So this is how, we have to be aware of the keywords. There are so many things you need to keep in mind. हमें keywords पता होने चाहिए. हमें ये पता होना चाहिए how to spot and differentiate. What is a message? What is a consequence? What is inference? What is assumption? Next week, we are also going to discuss all these words. What is a fact, consequence, inference, assumption? Okay, so that we know with example that, okay, ये options है, तो इसमें से ये तो message हो ही नहीं सकता. Now, let's do question number 29. Okay. Why is it not moving up? With reference to the passage, the following assumptions have been made. Now, these are the assumptions now. What you have to look for? These are the assumptions. To maintain natural ecosystems, exploitation of natural resources should be completely avoided. कुछ trap दिख रहा है किसी को यहाँ पर first option? We have discussed some strategies and tips right now. Do you think there is a trap over here? And who can identify that quickly? What is that? Huh? Very good. Very good, Yashasvi. Very good, Mansi. Chaya, very good. Now I want people to tell me. I'm not speaking the answer. I want you all to find out the trap. Because if you are able to, it means you have understood that tip well. Quickly, quickly. Can we have more people speaking up? Okay. No, Hina, don't give me the answer. Tell me the trap. Tell me the trap. Tell me the trap in the first option only. 29th question, first part. Can you tell me which word is the trap here? Yes, Hina? Find out. Yes, Lydia. Find out. Okay. So, correct. Okay, now let me tell. The word is completely. Why? Because again, it is taking us to extremity. That this is something which is extreme. Okay? Trap. Okay. I'll explain. Don't worry. Herein we are talking of, we just discussed of some words which tell us to extreme options. Like supposedly it says, not at all happening. Okay, nothing is there. Or if it says, everything is there, all is happening. So what is happening? All, everything, it is one extremity. सब कुछ positive हो गया. अगर हम बोलेंगे nothing, none, not at all, it is again one extremity, negative हो गया. These options are 90% wrong. You have to look for options which are somewhere in between. This is some aa jayega, more aa jayega, much aa jayega, many aa jayega. These are intermediate options. Okay. Here the word tells us to maintain natural ecosystems, exploitation of natural resources should be completely avoided. बिल्कुल avoid करना चाहिए. Completely. अगर आता should be avoided. It could have been one of the answers. But यहाँ पर आ गया completely avoided. तो ये eliminate ऐसे ही हो जाता है. Okay. Because it's extreme. Now let's come to second one. Not only anthropogenic, but also natural reasons can adversely affect ecosystems. Okay, let's put it on hold. हो सकता है ठीक हो. Let's come to third. Loss of endemic diversity leads to the extinction of ecosystem. Now, can you tell me if there is a trap in third one? Again, there is a trap. Can you find out which word is behaving like a trap here? Again, it is leading us to extremity. One extreme side. Which word? Okay. I have got the answer from Chaya. I've got an answer from Hina. Hina, think again. Mansi, okay. Quickly. More students, please come up. You know, you also feel confident if you keep answering, whether it's wrong. Never be afraid of a wrong answer. Because I think even a wrong answer is better than a no answer. Because, you know, you are thinking, your reasoning might be wrong. That's okay. But at least you're thinking and you're responding. Okay, so the correct one is, okay, 90% have given me the right answer. Extinction, absolutely correct. Again, what is extinction? Extinct. Khatam ho jana, disappearance. So again, that is extremity. You just cancel out these two options. Your answer is 2. What is 2? B part. 2 only. That's it. So this is the elimination strategy you use. Okay. So imagine you are in the paper, in the examination hall, you're doing this, you just read it out. Completely avoided extension of ecosystem. कहीं नहीं पढ़ा passage में कि कहाँ लिखा हो completely avoided. ये assumption कैसे सही हो सकती है? Extension of ecosystem कहीं नहीं लिखा, ये assumption कैसे true हो सकती है? Second is the correct answer at all cost. So here elimination strategy works. Okay, is that clear? So fine, we have time. Let's discuss one more passage. Ready for one more passage? I hope you're enjoying. I hope you're feeling challenged, because if we feel challenged, then our brain works double the amount it should work. Okay, read the following 2 passages. Okay, we are going to do just passage 1. I don't think time allows us to do more than that, but then let's do this one very thoroughly and answer the items that follow. Again, your answers to these items should be based on the passages only. This is a, like, you know, have those statutory warnings outside some items which are not consumable, that it's similar to that. Okay, again, let's start from the questions. Question 52. So it says, the apologist of the free market system. Okay, now do we understand what is apologist? Anyone? Any idea? Any guesses? Otherwise, it's okay. I'll help you out on this. What is apologist? The apologists believe in. यहाँ से guess भी कर सकते हो. Apologist of the free market system believe in something. Okay. नहीं आता? Okay, Satyam is right. A person in favor, yes. You're very, very nearly correct. Someone who is supporting that. Okay, someone who is supporting a particular thing. So the apologist of the free market system, according to the passage, believe in. अब एक बात सोचो, अगर इतने सारे क्वेश्चन पेपर्स प्रैक्टिस पेपर सॉल्व कर लोगे, इतने सारे वर्ड्स तो वैसे याद हो जाते हैं. You know, practicing previous year papers along with the tips and strategies, थोड़ी सी vocabulary आ गई, थोड़े से contrasting words सीख लिए, और थोड़े से जो मैंने कल conjunctive adverbs करवाने हैं, ये सब वो सब आ गए. Do you think you'll be able to qualify CSAT very, very happily, smoothly? Like, I am very confident if you do all of these in a balanced way, you know. So be very positive about it, that yes, you will be able to do it, because I think positivity is very important, right? Chalo, let's come back to this. The apologist of the free market system, according to the passage, believe in. So now we're talking about whose belief? The belief of the apologist. ये क्या मानते हैं free market system को लेकर? ठीक है. A part, market without control by government authorities. They believe that free market system जो है वो है एक market without control by government authorities. Okay. Market without protection by the government. Okay. Ability of market to self-correct. Market for free goods and services. अब free market system मुझे जो पता है, I will not bring in my own knowledge here, because I want to read what is given in the passage. That is again a warning I'm giving you, and that I give, you know, to all the students that never think what you already know. Let's find out, maybe because something else might be given here. So let's find out free market system kya. This is the keyword, and what is the other keyword? Quickly tell me. One keyword I've told you. Free market system is one keyword I will be looking for in the passage. Which is the other keyword I will be looking for? My eyes are in the chat box. Quick, quick, quick. Okay, you got it from one. Very good. No, 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 no. Believe is not a keyword, my dear. Believe is not a keyword. Apologist. Very good. Apologist is the keyword. Okay. So you have to think of apologist and free market system. Believe would be along with apologist because इसका हमें synonym भी मिल सकता है believe का. Okay. Think आ गया. या कोई ऐसा वर्ड विच इज सिमिलर टू जो उसके साथ मैच करो वो भी आ सकता है. तो बिलीव कीवर्ड नहीं है, apologist और फ्री मार्केट सिस्टम है. Let's find out. Okay. Many nations now place. So I'm running my eyes here. I'm not reading the passage. This is again one way. Okay. I'm not reading the passage अभी because मुझे जरूरत नहीं लग रही passage पढ़ने की. तो मैं सिर्फ फ्री मार्केट ढूंढने की कोशिश करती हूँ. Many nations now place their faith in capitalism. Okay. However, global banking crisis. Okay. Efficiency आ गया. Apologist आ गया. मुझे एक कीवर्ड मिल गया. The apologists of the system continue to justify the success of capitalism and argue that the recent crisis was a blip. Okay. अब मैं नीचे आती हूँ. Their arguments betray an ideological bias with the assumption that an unregulated market is fair and competent and that the exercise of private greed will be in the larger public interest. Unregulated market is fair and competent. यहाँ पर apologist आया है. Apologists of the system continue to justify the success of capitalism and argue. अब apologist कौन थे? जो support करते हैं किसको? Free market को. We have understood that through the question. आधी चीजें हमें questions से समझ आती हैं. Their arguments. Now there is a pronoun. For whom has the author used the word there? Quickly tell me. There किसके लिए use हुआ है? Their arguments betray. किसके arguments? किसके arguments? Very good, Yashasvi. Good, Satyam. Good, Daisy. Very good, Hina. Apologist. There is the pronoun which is used for apologist. तो हमें honestly starting का passage पढ़ने की जरूरत अभी नहीं है. हमने फटाफट ये पढ़ा और हम यहाँ से आंसर निकाल सकते हैं. Their arguments betray an ideological bias with the assumptions that an unregulated market is fair and competent. What is unregulated market? इसका मतलब क्या है? Something which is not regulated by the government is known as unregulated market. कौन सा आंसर लगता है सही होगा? Market without control by government authorities. Market without protection by the government. Ability of market to self-correct. Market for free goods and services. Okay, Priya is saying C. ठीक है. Priya. नहीं. Okay. No. We are talking of 52. Now some might think if जैसे I think Priya ने बोला C answer. It's okay. Okay, she got confused. But then there will be students who say self-correct. But ये देखना है कि self-correct जो है वो apologist के ऊपर आ रहा है. यहाँ पर है self-correction. But apologist उसके बाद आ रहा है. तो हमें सिर्फ इतना ही पढ़ने पे समझ आना चाहिए. What is the answer? And all of you have given the correct answer. A part. Simple. अब imagine कि अगर आपने ऐसे करा, keywords mark करे, you went to the passage. How long did you take? Hardly some 5 to 7 or 8 seconds. You got apologist, you got free market, you scanned the passage, you came to apologist, और वहां पर तुम्हें दिख गया, okay, unregulated market is fair and competent. This is what apologists believe in, because वो argument किसके लिए करेंगे? जिसके लिए वो support करते हैं, right? Come to 53. With reference to ideological bias. Okay, now I think this passage is the favorite. इसी में से दूसरा question है. With reference to ideological bias. The passage implies that free market is fair but not competent. Okay. Free market is not fair but competent. Free market is fair and competent. Free market is neither fair nor biased. It is a trap. It is a question filled with traps. Okay, think about it. I'll just explain you one line. With reference to ideological bias. क्वेश्चन रेफरेंस दे रहा है आइडियोलॉजिकल बायस को, लेकिन वो पूछ आपसे ये नहीं रहा कि आइडियोलॉजिकल बायस का मीनिंग क्या है. The ones who are giving me answer A, ये आप लोगों के लिए है जिन्होंने A लिखा है. मैम आंसर A is correct. एक बार दोबारा सोचो. With reference to ideological bias, passage implies. Ideological bias का implication पूछा होता, A answer was correct. कि ideological bias implies free market is fair but not competent. ठीक था. Sorry, free market is fair and competent. ओके. अनरेगुलेटेड मार्केट का मतलब क्या हुआ? फ्री मार्केट इज फेयर एंड कॉम्पिटेंट. ये तो हमें बायस बोलता है. क्या पैसेज इस थ्योरी के फेवर में है? कुड बी, ओके, नॉट श्योर, सी, डी, ओके. थिंक अबाउट इट. क्या ये पैसेज फ्री मार्केट के फेवर में है? Many nations now place their, now you can scan maybe a passage, many nations now place their faith in capitalism, governments choose it as the strategy to create wealth for their people. ठीक है, यहाँ तक हमें बता रहे हैं कि कई nations अब capitalism को choose कर रहे हैं. Spectacular economic growth हो गया ब्राजील, चाइना, इंडिया after the liberalization of their economies. कौन सा trap दिख रहा है यहाँ पर? Which word do you think is here to bring you a word of caution? Something which is raising your ears. Which word is this? However, this is a trap. It means there is something, there is a twist, and the author wants you to notice that twist. और जो चीज आपको अभी तक बताई गई है, जो उसकी पॉजिटिविटी थी कि भाई बहुत अच्छा हो रहा है, स्ट्रैटेजी है, लोग अमीर हो रहे हैं, कैपिटलिज्म में बहुत लोग बहुत कंट्रीज फॉलो कर रही हैं, लेकिन however ग्लोबल बैंकिंग क्राइसिस आ गया, इकोनॉमिक रिसेशन आ गया, एंड एवरीवन इज कंफ्यूज्ड. उस पर डिबेट हो रही है. नाउ टेल मी, क्या ये पैसेज फ्री मार्केट के फेवर में है? यस और नो? या वो उसको क्रिटिसाइज कर रहा है? एंड यहां पर आपको आइडियोलॉजिकल बायस के रेफरेंस में आना है, बिकॉज नाउ वी आर talking about the side effects of capitalism. Ki how debates have focused, how there are problems are highlighted. लेकिन जो apologists हैं, they continue to justify, वो success of capitalism को justify कर ही जा रहे हैं कि नहीं बहुत अच्छा हुआ जो capitalism आ गया, और वो कह रहे हैं कि जो अभी नुकसान हुआ वो एक blip था. It was just by chance it happened. Their arguments are betraying. Look at the negative words which are used. Ideological bias बोल रहा है कि मार्केट बड़ी फेयर और कॉम्पिटेंट है. तो ये कौन बोल रहे हैं? ये अपॉलोजिस्ट बोल रहे हैं. क्वेश्चन क्या है? With reference to ideological bias, the passage implies that. पैसेज क्या imply कर रहा है? That free market is fair and competent? No. फ्री मार्केट इज फेयर तो हो ही नहीं सकता. तो इसका मतलब ए और सी दोनों गलत है, क्योंकि फ्री मार्केट इज फेयर पैसेज नहीं बता रहा, वो तो अपॉलोजिस्ट बता रहे हैं. पैसेज इज अगेंस्ट इट. तो यहाँ पर कौन सी ऑप्शंस बचती हैं? बी और डी. नाउ कैन यू थिंक एंड गेस. नाउ कैन यू थिंक एंड गेस. फ्री मार्केट इज नॉट फेयर बट कॉम्पिटेंट. कॉम्पिटेंट का मतलब होता है समथिंग विच इज वेरी सक्सेसफुल, something which has been widely successful और बहुत acclamation मिला हो. क्या फ्री मार्केट को acclamation मिल रहा है इस पैसेज में? तो फ्री मार्केट इज नीदर फेयर और ना ही वो बायस है. वो बिकॉज वो बायस हो ही नहीं सकती. मार्केट इतनी रेंज है, उसमें बायसनेस नहीं आ सकती, बट हाँ वो फेयर नहीं है. सो हेयर जैसे ही आप ये समझोगे फ्री मार्केट इज फेयर, ये दोनों आपके एलिमिनेट हो जाते हैं. और यहाँ पर आप जैसी वर्ड कॉम्पिटेंट पढ़ते हो, आप कहते हो नहीं पैसेज तो मान ही नहीं रहा. द राइटर इज नॉट सपोर्टिंग द आइडियोलॉजिकल बायस ऑफ द अपॉलॉजिस्ट. सो द आंसर इज डी. This is how you derive to the answer. Okay, so the ones who gave me the answer A as correct, if it had been related to only what you understand by ideological bias, then A would have been correct. Not A, sorry, C would have been correct. But if it is related to what the passage is implying, passage का मतलब intention of the author. Yes, passage means intention of the author. Okay, so this could have been changed into according to the author, or what does the author intend to when he says this. इस तरीके से भी घूमकर आ सकता है. Fine. Let's come on to the last question, I think, 54. The exercise of private greed will be in the larger public interest. Okay, the exercise of the private greed. Oh, we have the same one from the same passage only. Exercise of private greed will be in the larger public interest and exercise of private greed. So this is the statement now. What do you understand by it? I want an answer from all of you quickly. Refers to the false ideology of capitalism, underlies the righteous claims of the free market, shows the benevolent face of capitalism, ignores resultant gross inequity. इसके लिए you can read the remaining passage quickly and find out कि कोई option directly दिख रही है, because sometimes options are very explicitly and directly given in the passage. Few recognize the bidirectional relationship between capitalism and greed, that each reinforces the other. Okay. Surely, a more honest conceptualization of the conflict of interest among rich and powerful players who have benefited from the system, their biases and ideologies needed. अभी तक हमको ideology समझ आया एक word और एक ideology यहाँ समझ आया है, but false ideology of capitalism तो नहीं दिया हुआ कहीं, so I don't think first is going anywhere. Underlies the righteous claim of free market भी कहीं नहीं आया. Shows the benevolent face of capitalism भी नहीं आया अभी तक. कहाँ पर आया है capitalism का benevolent face की बात हो रही है कहीं? Benevolent means something which is very nice, kind face of capitalism. ये तो वैसे ही cancel हो जाता है. Kindness की तो बात ही नहीं है यहाँ पे. Capitalism का तो we are negating capitalism. तो 3 तो वैसे ही cancel out हो गया. The focus on the wealth creation should also highlight the resultant gross inequity. Gross inequity दिख गया हमें. We have gross inequity in our option also. पर यहाँ पर आ रहा है ignores resultant gross equity. Let's quickly read this line. The exercise of private greed will be in the larger public interest. Okay. Ignores resultant gross inequity. तो ये जो इनका ideological bias है, जो private greed की बात कर रहे हैं, क्या वो gross inequity को लेके चल रहा है? What is gross inequity? Gross means something which is, quickly tell me, what is gross? What is gross? Something which is gross domestic product or gross income. बहुत बार सुना होगा. Total. Good. Something which is total. कुल मिलाकर जब हम बात करते हैं. What is inequity? Inequity? No, it's not miscellaneous. Inequity means something which is not balanced. Something which is not equal. तो यहाँ पर ये बोल रहे हैं कि जो आइडियोलॉजिकल बायस है वो ये नहीं देख रहे हैं अपने बायसेस के अंदर या अपनी जो प्रोपोजिशंस लेकर आ रहे हैं, दे आर इग्नोरिंग हाउ कैपिटलाइजेशन की वजह से एक इम्बैलेंस आया है सोसाइटी में. सो इट इज इग्नोरिंग दैट. दिस इज द वर्ड व्हिच हेल्प्स अस. इग्नोरिंग रिजल्टेंट ग्रॉस इनइक्विटी. सो दिस इज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन. डू वी हैव इट? यस, वी हैव इट. सो डी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. ओके. False ideology of capitalism की तो यहाँ बात ही नहीं हो रही है. Gross inequity, we have got the keyword over here. और यहाँ पर हो रहा है कि ये फोकस होना चाहिए, इसका मतलब पहले इग्नोर हो रहा था. Okay, focus on wealth creation should also highlight means here it was ignored. So ignore resultant gross inequity. So this is how you derive the answer. Okay, so this is all for today. Students, and I hope you have understood, you have enjoyed the class, and any kind of doubts, anything you want to ask, you can please write in the chat box and we can discuss, or you may note down your doubts and we can discuss in tomorrow's class as well. And I'm just reminding you all, tomorrow I am going to discuss all the conjunctive adverbs, or in simple words agar hum baat karte hain, all the words which are like traps. Okay, therefore, accordingly, furthermore, in addition, all these words we are going to discuss, and I want you to be prepared. So this is your homework. Be prepared so that you are able to give examples in the class, and then we can have a more participative discussion. Okay. So any doubts, anything you want to ask? Thank you, Hina. Thank you. You enjoyed it. I'm glad. No, 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 no. Okay, one is asking me ideological bias does not mean false. Not at all. Bias means when you're taking sides. False and being true is absolutely different thing. Okay. False ideology means something which is not true, is false. But if you're taking sides, it could be of anything. किसी को किसी की साइड लेनी है, वो सही की भी साइड ले सकते हैं, वो गलत की भी साइड ले सकते हैं. तो बायस का मतलब होता है टेकिंग साइड्स, राइट? ओके. Thank you, students. Thank you so much. If you have understood, you've enjoyed, I'm glad. I'm very, very happy to read your messages in the chat box. And over to you, Harsha sir. Are you here? Okay, he's not here. Thank you so much, students. So see you tomorrow. And I am really expecting you all to be prepared. Okay. And for the conjunctive adverbs, and let me know the concerns. And next week, we are going to discuss some contrast words, right? For example, we have however, therefore. If you're not able to cover tomorrow, we're going to discuss those contrast words over there. Because I personally feel, being an English person, language person, I feel knowledge of some grammar is also very important. Because tips, strategies, everything perfectly fine. But at the same time, having basic knowledge of grammar is very, very important, because it helps you to understand the language and appreciate the language also. Okay. So thank you so much, students, and have a good day. And okay, good night. Good night. So we are done with this.